This table is horrible.
Smell that drawer.
I just shit on his table.
Because it's a shit table. I mean, I
This
get
is a
it
great
now.
table.
I was just seeing if the camera. It's recording, but we're
Okay.
not. You haven't heard. Well,
I was
welcome
wondering.
everybody to this week's episode of the Terrible Table Podcast. You've heard it now,
Heard it now.
so now we're starting. That's what that means. It's
Let's go,
official.
baby.
Oh wait, we can't start yet. I got this dugout in my hand.
You can do it.
Dugout.
We got Courtney Loggins coming next Sunday.
Who's that?
The actress chick.
Oh, nice. You want me here for that one or no?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know if like you want to do stuff without me. Like I'm not going to be offended.
Oh, I would love to do stuff without you.
Well,
but,
now I'm offended.
But
Now I'm upset.
But-
Johnny, you want to know something funny?
what's that?
My mom was like, "Hey, we saw that pod." I went to her house the other day. She was like, "We saw that podcast you did."
She
and I
asked
was like,
about me. Oh, sorry. Continue.
"She didn't."
Oh.
But
She didn't.
I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "You were on a podcast." I'm like, what? She was like, "Yeah, if you look up your name, all that stuff comes up. So your you have viewers."
Oh yeah, no,
My
I got-
mom watched the podcast.
Yeah, no, I met your parents.
I did too.
you
At the show.
This
I
was
met- I-
before then.
yeah.
She told me that you told her. She was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, I can't cuss. My parents are here." And I was like, "I didn't say that, but
I don't remember saying that to your parents.
oh, it may have been somebody else.
You know what I
Might
do
have been
remember?
Evan.
You know what I do remember telling them?
It might have been
Your
me.
boy's gonna win.
You said that?
I said, man, I've been saying that
He's
shit
been saying
for
it since
months.
LOCO Top 10 got
Dude,
announced.
yeah,
You're right.
You right? My boy came in swinging dick.
All right, so hold on. Let's start this properly.
All
Welcome. Let's do this right. Oh, am I gonna blow your ears out?
Maybe.
I can back off. Welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Terrible Table Podcast. We've got Chris Luker
Thanks.
and the LOCO Fest winner, Garrett Nelson.
Hey.
Dude, yeah, congratulations. I'll leave all that stuff we started with, but dude, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I've been calling it for weeks. Months.
Months, yeah.
I
Months.
listen to all y'all's podcasts.
Thank
and
you for that.
I've heard Johnny say, "Garrett's got it," and
Garrett's
then I've also
got it.
heard Chris say, "Dustin's gonna rub him for his money.
Yep.
He's gonna."
No.
And I thought the same thing. I was like, all right, Dustin's probably gonna win it, but Dustin going fourth, me going ninth.
It's a little
I
bit.
That
don't
did
think
help.
that. Look, man, everybody did good. I've said it.
Yes.
Everybody did good.
Everybody had great moments. But you and Clyde, y'all held the audience from the moment you walked on to the moment you walked off. So the only thing that when I heard Clyde said, I was like, well, wait a minute. Hold on.
Maybe Garrett don't got
But
it.
I mean, I heard your set too, and I mean, you had them from the time you got on the stage to the time you got off, dude. I knew you were going to do it. I knew it.
A lot of my friends told me, they were like, when Clyde got on, we were getting pretty worried about you.
Yeah,
And I didn't get to hear Clyde's set because I was in the back
Yeah.
decompressing, like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
he came out
Wiping
hard.
the sweat off your balls.
Yeah.
He came out hard, and he did really good. And I did when I saw Clyde set, I thought, man, but I did the door, so I know that 80% of the people that were there didn't know who they were going to vote for.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
He was worried about that after. He's
Yeah.
like, did I win because my people were there? And I was
I
like,
was-
it was such a landslide. You have no clue.
I was worried because I already have like imposter syndrome.
You should.
And then me thinking that I won it because of my people having really like
no, you want it because of your set. You want it because of the work you put in.
Hey,
somebody came up
100%.
to me. I don't know who it was, but they told me the numbers. And after they told me the number, I was like, all right, I feel good about it now because I did.
You can
earn
say
it.
it was me.
I was about to say it had to be you or
It might have
Joel.
been
It
you.
It was me.
wasn't
Because
me.
he was like, he pulled me aside and he was like, hey, it's because of my people. And I go, I don't know if you brought this many people. I'm not
I
going to say
brought
the numbers on here.
30 people, but it was
If you brought 30, he still would have won
So
without them there.
you know for a fact you brought 30 people, or you're guessing that?
no. I counted.
Okay,
I
I'm
saw
a
him out
real.
there.
I'm a real numbers guy.
I wasn't sure if you knew because
Autism's a
There
hell of a
wasn't-
drug,
no.
baby.
there wasn't 30 people that acted like they knew who you were. There was a handful, maybe 10 or 12.
They didn't want to let him know that they knew him until
Well,
after
I mean,
that
I
set.
had the same spiel at the door with everybody: is that if you already know who you're here to vote for, go ahead and put your ticket in the box.
Yeah,
So
don't
you
worry
never
about the
forget-
crowd on the way out.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just put if you're here for somebody, put the ticket in the box now. And I mean, only probably 30 people did that. Most everybody was like, "Oh, I don't even know who's here."
My parents were big fans of you too.
Really?
Well, they get to see my degenerate ass, and then they're like, "Here's a nice young fella."
They like the clean stuff.
Yeah.
I can do clean.
Which has really paid off. I didn't think it would, but it really has.
We got that show coming up March 29th that you're
Mm-hmm.
on, and I got to clean up some of my set.
He's a preacher, isn't he?
March 20th.
Yeah. He's not. You don't have to go like Disney movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my
PG.
same thing.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, you're good,
Okay.
but like, I just have to turn mine to PG-13.
Yeah.
He straight up was just like, no F-bombs, try to avoid pussy, like,
Yeah.
and like he's not like 100%.
Reasonable.
Yeah, he's not like a clean person per se, but he does clean comedy.
Yeah.
because he is a preacher.
Oh, it's James. That's right.
No, James is featuring. It's
James is featuring?
yeah, James Carley. Yeah.
Is he not a preacher?
No, he's just a big black man.
For some reason, I thought you told me. For some reason, I thought you told me
It's
he
that
was.
750 BMW makes you think that. But Ben Neely, you did a show, Ben,
He was on the LOCO Fest list.
last year.
I wasn't at
Benjamin
LOCO
Neely.
Fest last year. I
Oh,
was
no,
on
I'm
a
talking about
cruise.
this year. He was on the
Vote.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel bad for him because he didn't promote himself well because he's been going through some stuff with his brother.
Tell everybody. What else is he doing?
That's all I said.
Does he have herpes? Like,
I might
cut that.
cut
Who
that.
doesn't? It's 2025. Who doesn't have herpes?
I don't barely have a dick.
Gonosypha herpes.
All right, back to Garrett Nelson, baby. Back
Yeah,
to
so
Loco.
we kind of threw some questions back and forth. One of the ones that I had for you is, what did your parents actually? Because they said it was your first time coming to actually watch you, right?
Yeah, it was.
What did they think?
So I've showed them, so they're very eager to see my
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
knowing that I do comedy. So I showed them my funeral bit. I
Yeah,
showed
yeah.
my whole
Good
family that.
joke.
My family came in town. I was like, I'll show them that one,
That's a good one, yeah.
And at the time, my 10-minute set was not squeaky clean.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was-
yeah.
It had some,
Some words.
it had some words.
But it's not like that joke is like super raunchy. It's just might
which
add some words.
that one's, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, which is why you showed it.
But
yeah.
when I showed them the jokes I had were not, not
Yeah.
good. But no, they enjoyed it. They liked it. I made sure to look at them a couple times during my set. My dad was kind of bouncing,
You see that
but-
shoulder giggle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they liked it.
I had my stepdad come to one of my shows one time, and my mom said that's the hardest she's ever seen him
Really?
laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And that's why I was curious because I'm dirty,
Yeah.
and I was curious how your parents reacted to the
No,
squeaky
they loved
clean.
it.
Like, does it fit the profile of you as their kid, or are you
They don't know. I don't
were
let
you
them
a
in on
raunchy
much.
kid?
I don't let them in on much, but they know what I'm capable of.
Yeah. Yeah, they raised you. They know what's in
Yeah.
there. They're like,
Well,
I hope nothing
they
crazy.
seem nice.
So they
I'm-
punish me, so they know what I can do.
Yeah, well, they seemed really nice. They seemed very supportive of you.
Yeah. They were
They
awesome.
seemed very, very excited to see you perform that night.
I told them, I was like, there's a few clean guys on the show. It's like, you're
Yeah.
going to hate the
The
host. And
What
then
they say about me? I am
Af-
curious.
the only thing I talked to her about was after the show, Chris was standing there, my mom was standing right there. And I was like, oh, what'd you think about Chris? And she was like, you should not have been saying that stuff.
She would have hated me.
And Chris was like, my mom was here. And she was like, if I was your mom, I would have stood up. And
She would have hated my set.
It was fun doing my set, and I think y'all heard me preface like my mom's in the crowd, so I promise I wouldn't say shit or fuck. And immediately, like obviously, that's just to get a quick laugh. And I kept looking at my mom and dad the whole time, and my dad's in tears, having a good he's like, "That's my boy," that kind of thing. He doesn't talk like that at all, but. And I asked my mom, I was like, I gave her a hug when I saw her later. I was like, I'm sorry, Mama. She's like, you're good. It was pretty funny. She's like, no, that's true, right? And I was like, no, it's all just jokes.
Well, my mom, most of my stuff is true.
Yeah.
And when my mom, she was like, you've always had a dirty mouth. That's all she said. You've always had a dirty mouth.
Sand in the boat and everything.
Yeah, it's my mom knows who I am.
It's one of my
It's all
favorites.
I went to the show you had with Johnny opening and JP was the headliner.
Yeah.
And he did that joke. I was on a first date there, actually. I remember texting
I remember
you.
you telling me that. Yeah.
I was like, hey, if this girl, if this is our first date, if it doesn't go well, I'm blaming it all on Johnny.
Yes, 100%.
And
Did it go well?
dude, he told that sand in the boat thing. I laughed so hard at that.
Did
I'm
she
glad
laugh?
she was at she was in the bathroom at the time.
Nice.
And because I looked like a little bitch laughing.
Dude,
Appreciate it.
She did end up ghosting me though.
Hey, that's what she
at
gets.
least it wasn't your comedy that made her go.
Yeah, it wasn't my
It was
comedy.
Johnny Gates.
No, she would have stuck around if she'd have seen your comedy.
Yeah.
No, she wouldn't have. I had a joke about her for a while, but quit doing it.
Oh, was that?
So did she.
Oh, that's the one you sent the clip to? Is it that joke? I love that story. It's so
It's a
funny.
real story. I quit doing it, but
Yeah, I would stop sending comedy clips to anybody too. Be
Yeah,
like,
I'm
no, you
not
just got to
doing
check me
anymore.
out live
yeah,
because
just gotta
Yeah,
come.
you got to pay
Buy a
$20 ticket.
no, I should. Hit me up if you need a hot chicken, and I'll get her on. I'll figure out a spot for her. She can sit next to the stage.
Yeah, you can buy a ticket.
Hey,
Send
no,
me
you
any clip.
you got me working most of the doors. I'll get her in. They will never know.
That was a
You're
good
right.
show,
I have no
though.
idea what goes on there. Johnny could be pocketing money every single time. I
I
have
could
no
be.
idea.
I absolutely could be robbing y'all blind, and y'all never know because y'all trust me.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean,
I don't know how he got that Yukon out there, but I don't think it's show money.
it was not show money. I promise you that.
How many free tickets you got to give away to get a Yukon?
A lot.
Too many.
I think we paid 32 for that one.
That ain't bad.
32 or 33.
Let's get back to LOCO. We keep going off, and I'm trying so
Oh,
hard to
sorry.
focus.
Yeah, no, you did. What questions did you have for him? What'd you spend your money on? Can we ask that?
Oh, yeah. Where'd the money go?
Can we ask that?
So I've got most of it still.
Cool.
Brought it to the bank,
Nice.
deposited it.
Gross.
But I was already planning this. But once I got the money, it was for sure.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, for sure.
The next day, I sent Chris a screenshot. I bought a plane ticket to Maui.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. My sister used to live there.
Really?
Yeah.
And I got a friend that lives there, so we have a free place to stay, just
Nice.
a plane ticket. And
Who's we?
Me and my friends are going.
Okay, you got some boys going.
Oh yeah, we're.
Oh,
we got
that's
a,
going to be dope.
We got a girl. She's gonna hate it. But a lot of boys. We got a friend there, and I asked her actually earlier while I was at Tiki. I was like, "You got any comedy spots down there?" She was like 2 minutes away from my house. We got an open mic.
Hell
No
yes.
shit.
And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
I'm doing.
I was
it.
about to say,
Go for it.
if she didn't know, I'll call my sister and ask.
Your sister lives there?
No, she used to, but
Oh.
she still knows people that are there. She still goes back.
Yeah, I'm sure they definitely have a decent comedy scene because, you know, Joe Coy goes out there and he sells out like 7 arena shows in a row.
Yeah,
Like,
I see.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Dustin Ybarra.
I don't know.
He does shows out there a lot. But I'm gonna do an open mic.
Nice.
I'm there for 10 days. So
Damn.
if
Oh,
I do
wow.
That's sick.
if I do the mic the first day,
Are you going to fly back in and do the open mic or
Wait, what?
Tiki? It's almost like
he didn't
Maui.
win. He didn't win that much.
Fly back in and then go back.
Yeah. You can't miss Tiki. I
Private.
need you, buddy.
I am
Private.
thinking about it.
We need a Garrett tonight, dude. Whew, tonight was a weird one.
For me too. I did all new jokes. I was flexing the belt up there, like, hey, look at
So
me, and I was
funny.
like, I'm doing all new jokes, so don't get your
Dude,
hopes up. It's
He
bad.
goes to put the belt down after being like, I go, flex that motherfucker when you get up there. Let him know. And he's just like, look at this shit. And he goes to set it down and just falls straight on the floor.
Fell off.
Fuck
Yeah,
that
well,
belt.
he scratched it first, so who cares?
But that got me a laugh. So that was the most laughs I had on.
Oh, look how mad you are
I
now.
didn't scratch the belt. I peeled off the plastic. I was like, look, there's a scratch on here.
He scratched it.
and immediately
Yeah,
Joel
hold
and
on. He scratched it and then went, hey, look, there's a scratch on it.
I was seeing if it was a scratch off ticket. It wasn't.
Well, I didn't see any scratches. I've not got to look at it really because it's
Dope.
been in Joel's
Oh, yeah,
car.
you just
Oh,
got it
weird.
today. Yeah. And he
you
texts
left-
me today like, hey, you still going to Joel? I'm like, I
No,
already
I
got it,
remember.
buddy. I already got everything, man. So one of the questions I had, so leading up to the voting process, you got your submission and we got everything online ready to vote. How nervous are you that you don't make it into it?
I was a little nervous about it.
Were you pretty confident?
So I was thinking, you know, a lot of these guys are gonna get a lot of votes.
Yeah.
They got a big audience, but I started hitting up people personally,
Yep.
personally texting people, hey, could you please
Please
vote for
just
me?
vote for me.
I was putting my ego out on the line. Like,
Yeah.
I've not talked to this person in 6 years, and I was still thinking, even at the end, like, oh, I might make it. I'm like plugging in the statistics of ChatGPT. What are the? I was like,
was
what are the
research.
odds I make it in? It was like, oh, you might be number 9. you might be
Outlook
number
not so
8.
good.
Yeah.
And then Chris called me. He was like, hey, you're in, bro. You got
That's
like,
not how the phone call went. I said, maybe I did this to Jay.
oh no, you go. Hey man,
Dude, I hit him.
why did you have so many duplicate votes? And I
And-
was like, what the fuck? I don't know. It doesn't say that you submitted your vote, so people did it multiple times. They didn't know if it's submitted or
Trying
not.
to
He's
play
like,
the system. I am the system.
he's like, all right, well, you still made it. In.
You still made it. We deleted it all. I did that to Jamie, and he was so sad. He was like, I was like, dude, you got 300 votes. Over 100 of them were duplicates. He was like, fuck. And I was like, you still got in, though, buddy. I'll
It
see
was
you
because
there.
of the system. It didn't. You click submit and it doesn't give you any confirmation.
I did it, too, and I was like, did it work? And
Yeah.
Joel had to check. He's like, yeah, it went through. And I'm like, shit.
A lot of my people were telling me, they're like, I don't know if it's submitted or not. And I was like, do it again.
Yeah, fuck it. Just run it again. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, a lot of people were worried, like, hey, I think you might have called me. like if a bunch of my buddies are voting for me a bunch, like they were like, dude, I voted for you 20 times. Like, shit, that doesn't help at all.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
And I was just like, no, dude, I'm not going to disqualify you for you having good friends. Like,
Yeah.
that's
I
just
also had people going, hey, I did it 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shit.
Did you do it
Am
from
I
your
gonna-
house, your office, and your phone?
I'm going to get
No.
in trouble for this.
The only people
And
that
then-
disqualified are the ones that are submitting and then voting for themselves with
Yeah.
15 different names. And it's like, I see your email, IP address. Like, we see it all. Kind
You
of
know how
thing.
he told me?
How?
He said, "Hey, so you work in the door shoot?"
It's not how I said it. I
Dude,
was-
your post about I didn't get enough votes to make it into LOCO Fest, but I did get enough votes to work at the door. That made me laugh. But I didn't want to react to it.
You should have.
Because I didn't want to be like,
You know,
haha, you didn't make it in. I didn't want you
No,
to.
you could have
Bozo.
absolutely done that. I don't care. I don't take offense to much.
I think it was, I was like, top 10 they're in. And I'm just talking to Johnny. He's like, did I make it? I go, oh, no. And
Oh.
we just kept talking about, like, how
Yeah.
are we going to get LOCO running and shit.
You did a really fucking good job. That was great.
I'm glad
Thank
that
you. I appreciate it. I worked really, really hard at it, you know.
He did the door very well.
I will say this: the production that the crowd saw is a lot different than what we had going behind the scenes. It was a shit show
Really?
on the other side. It was a rough go. A lot of lessons learned that night.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, to the point. Johnny came to tell me something. I yelled at Johnny about someone else, and he's like, "All right, I'm just letting you know."
That's one, and then you did 2 more that night. Hell yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Johnny saw it. He's like, "He's just stressed the fuck out right now. I'm not even."
Well, actually, what I said was wrong one, and then I was like, "Your wife can come and do this."
Yeah.
And then
You
the
yelled
other
at
one,
Johnny 3 times?
yeah.
Well, just because I was stressing about other shit, and he was like, "Hey, you need to close your tab," and I was like, "Tell those motherfuckers they can wait." And he goes, "Nope, I'll tell your wife to handle that." I was like, all right, my bad.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, this is
dude-
not how this is gonna go.
This dude needs to know how much longer it's going to be because we're 45 minutes over.
That's okay. Still gotta go pay them.
Oh, and you threw that up in my face. I paid them good money. Hey, stop. He just needs to know.
Good money.
Yeah.
What? So you weren't nervous about that? What? So what? I know backstage, you might have shit yourself 20 times before you went up, and it sucks because you had so long before you went up.
So
Are you nervous?
Long. Usually, I am very, very nervous before I go up.
Yeah, that's a good thing
And
to keep.
It's usually right before I go up when the host is up there talking about me, about to bring me up. I get really nervous. And I was nervous the whole night until Chris started talking about me. And I don't know what it was. As soon as I stepped out of that door,
Game over, baby.
no nerves.
I think it was those cheers you got to. The people that you brought. Obviously, everyone's excited to see the next comic, but you heard that pop from the people that knew you, and it's like, oh,
I
yeah,
didn't-
I'm supposed to be
Yeah,
here.
they did light up when you came on stage. Your fan base
Yeah.
That
hollered.
pop when I called you back on stage, though, that was
You
even
did.
bigger,
That
man.
was funny. I was like,
That
my
was the
mom
whole
had to listen
crowd.
to that.
Yeah.
But no, I was, as soon as I got up there, not nervous. And I think part of it was I was setting up my first joke, saying hello to the audience. How
Yeah.
are y'all? And the way that I was saying hello and setting up my first joke, that got a laugh.
Yeah,
And when that got a laugh, I was like, oh,
I
what?
got him, baby.
I was like, oh, I'm about
See
to,
these balls in my hand? That's
Like,
the audience's.
I'm about to hammer it.
Yeah.
And then I did.
Yeah, you fucking nailed that show.
Because they were ready to laugh. You just had to give them an excuse to. And
Like I said, you and Clyde were the only two, you know, and anybody that watches it takes offense to it. I mean, if anybody recorded it, go back and watch it. You and Clyde were the only two that had the audience from start to finish. And it was something to watch. It was
Yeah.
one of the better shows that I've ever seen. Like, the whole show was good.
Yeah.
Everybody did good. But some people were a little more
Couple
commanding than
balls and
others.
stuff. Yeah.
in the first half of my set, like, now that I've been writing different material, you know, the first half I'm not very confident in.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, proud of it. And so
The
I
set
was
you
trying to-
did?
I'm not proud of.
The set you did on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah.
Okay.
And so I was kind of like, not actually, but like internally trying to get through that so I could get to like the last
meat,
half of the
potatoes
set.
of it,
Like,
yeah.
I want to get to this.
This is an
that.
appetizer, but the meal's coming, baby.
But
yeah.
they were laughing so hard at that I was like, oh. I got it.
Do you know how much time you actually did? Did you?
Chris told me I did like exactly 10.
It was right on the dot, like 9:40, something like that. And another thing from behind the scenes, that light, it's just hard to see from that angle. So now
I
we
was
gotta,
looking too.
Yeah, and it's one of those like, fuck, where do we put the light
You
next
know
time?
what we ought
I
to
don't know.
invest in?
A light guy?
No,
A timer?
a red light, green light.
Oh.
that you just hit with a switch and we hanging on a wall.
I wanna get
They
a
got some that are battery operated.
Timers are the shit. I went to
I want a
Rose
countdown
City,
clock. Yeah.
and I did it with Glenn and Dustin. And it was my
Weird
first
threesome.
time ever seeing. Yeah, it was a very weird threesome, but it was my first time seeing a timer.
Yeah.
And I was like finishing up my set, and I'm looking at it, and I got to like slowly finish
Just
it
break
off.
it down, yeah.
And I brought it to the last like 3 seconds,
Nice.
just because I saw that timer, and I was like, I can go without stepping on laughter.
Yeah, I want to get one that we can bring around.
I think
Something
they got a battery operated one.
They do. We found some, and it's all just the budget thing, you know. Like I don't want to spend $200 on something that someone's gonna spill beer on at Tiki, someone's gonna kick
They're
over.
not that expensive.
It don't matter at Tiki, I wouldn't say, but for your
Man,
other
them
shows,
motherfuckers run the light at Tiki,
yeah,
Well, they just do that on purpose.
cut them off of music.
and that's what I told everybody. I was like, hey, if you hit 10 minutes and 30 seconds, I'm gonna play you off of music. No one wants to be stuck out with the middle of a joke.
Yeah,
Just like, oh fuck.
Are you talking about that logo?
Because we were such on a time crunch. Because the show's long as shit. It's
Yeah.
a long show, and I understand. I don't like doing long shows like that.
But it's 100 minutes at least.
Not including me.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to keep it real short hosting shows like that. Because I mean, they're not here for me. But if I can get them laughing, then I can get the first guy ready for a show. Like if I bomb, it's like shit. You do better. I don't know. I tried, man. So what another question we got?
That clean show that I did, that was, I didn't know that was for a police officer. I found that out
Oh yeah, he's
over
Bossier
that,
police
over
officer
that
with
weekend. I
Kansas,
thought
yeah.
it was for the early childhood education.
No, that one for the police officer was the one we did with Benjamin Neely.
The cop told me he was at my show.
He didn't know. Were you at the Benjamin Neely show?
Who was the big heavyset guy that sat down the whole time?
Daryl Felsberg.
Yeah.
That one. Which one did?
I thought it was. That's why I did the
Daryl.
set that I did, because it was for.
No, that was for that.
That's what. But that cop was like, no, because he was like, I remember you the one that did the joke about the sheriff.
You didn't do that show in East Bank that I wasn't there, huh?
No,
It was on like
no way.
It was like a Wednesday night or a Thursday or something. I
there's
was up
no
in
way.
Arkansas, and I was like, Joel, sorry, I just cannot be there. And he was like, dude, you got to take off work. And I was like, I can't. Like, I got to give it like a 30-day notice and shit. And he was like, what are we going to do? And I go, have fun, buddy. I don't know. And then we did a show without him. You saw how that went.
If I go pee in the yard, can we cut it out?
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
All right,
Boys
and we're
and
back.
Hey,
Garrett's done
buddy.
fondling his unit
Yeah, I'm done.
in my backyard.
All right, one of the questions we kind of came up with, what was it like performing in front of a crowd that big? 250 people. Have you done that before?
The most I've done is 110, and for some reason, it was almost less nerve-wracking than I think it might have been. I think the hack to comedy, having the crowd lights dark, there's no light on
Can't
the
see their
crowd.
faces, yeah.
Can't see them.
Well, in that venue there, you can still see the crowd.
I could
there.
still see them, but I don't know.
It's not like at Tiki where it's pretty lit up in there.
It was I was way more comfortable, and I think it was also because I was like looking at my parents over here, looking at my friends right here, looking at my brother over here, and I was just kind of going back and forth.
Almost like that comfort blanket.
Nice.
I don't
of
know,
people
yeah.
being around, yeah.
Even though there was there was tons of people there. It was
Yeah.
all to the back of the room, but
You ever get locked in on one person and feel like you're doing the wrong thing by continuously looking at them? I do that.
Dude,
I
do
catch
that.
myself and I'll look away.
Once
but-
Garrett got off, and I was like, man, that boy's getting that dude's getting fucked tonight. I'm sure your parents love that.
I got off and I was like, my parents were probably enjoyed that. And
Yeah.
then Chris gets up there and he was like, yeah, it's getting late tonight.
Well, after that pop, I heard some ladies screaming. I was like, oh, my boy's getting his wiener wet. And then some dude cheered really loud. I'm assuming it was one of your boys, and I locked in on him. I was like, that dude's blowing him.
Was
and
it
then
front row?
Yeah.
Okay,
And I was just staring at him. He was just like, he was laughing, but he's like, fuck, what do I do?
What do I do? Take my teeth out? What
All my
Should have
friends were
cheered
front
so
row.
hard. That's miserable. My parents asked me one time, they're like, you want to sit in the front? I was like, get the fuck away from me.
Get to the back.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't
what
wanna look
people
at
Go to
say.
the
I don't
bathroom.
give two shits.
Go watch from the poker machine.
Don't even watch, actually. Don't come.
I don't care.
No,
Sit
I don't
where you
know. It
want.
was, I feel like after a certain number of people,
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It's
Was
just
that
people.
the biggest? That you said that's the biggest?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you just said the biggest was 110.
Yeah.
So was that at the theater or was it somewhere else?
Was it LOL?
Okay.
Yeah, you've
Shit.
had one, you've had 110 at the theater, too. 120 at the theater.
Yeah, 120 at the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
And that's even harder because there's no bar. There's nowhere else in the look. They're all looking at you.
I love that.
And you're not standing higher than them. You're not on a stage. I mean, you are on a stage,
But it's pretty
it's
level.
a movie theater setting. So you got people sitting higher than you. So that was kind of intimidating. Like the theater, I was pretty nervous for that.
Those shows are cool. The thing I like about it is everyone. So when you go to a free show, not everyone's there to see comedy. Some people just stumble in. They're like, "Oh shit, what's going on up here?"
Two people tonight showed up. Who's playing? We got comedy. Oh, well, we'll check it out.
Yeah, and it's a lot of that. That's why I tell the comedians when they come in from out of town, like, "Hey, there's going to be people at the bar talking. I guarantee it. Anyone in the crowd talking, fair game. Talk shit to them. People at the bar, they're not here for any of this.
Yeah,
so
let them do their
unfortunately, it is a bar, so we have to let it be a bar still. And they might play pool, and it's going to suck, but the owner makes money on that pool table, so sorry about your luck. They shut it down once a year, and that's for the anniversary party. Every year they put a tarp or a cover, whatever they do. I'm sure it's not a tarp. They put a blanket on it. But
last year's LOCO Fest banner.
Yeah. Another one I had, was there anything unexpected at the show?
Excuse me.
I think with, like, during my set, like, laughing at the setup of a joke, that was kind of weird. When you tell a joke, you're like, I know I expect a laugh here.
Yeah.
I expect a laugh there. But, like, I would set up a joke, and people would start laughing and clapping.
You're like,
I was
shut
like,
up.
oh,
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready for
Yeah, I've only
this.
got 10 minutes. Y'all settle down.
yeah. I even, with that, like, the whole dog bit,
Yeah.
I had no choice but to step on laughter.
Yes.
Because if not,
You were gonna
I was
go-
not going to be able to even do my last joke, which is one of my favorites, you
Yeah.
know, my closer.
Yeah.
And I do remember you stepping on the laughs, but I remember it worked. It
yeah.
worked, though.
Like, I had no choice because they were just kept
Yeah, and it just made them laugh harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was, and Dustin told me kind of his strategy for the whole thing. He was like, I'm about to condense this much time into 10 minutes. He was like, I know you're not supposed to step on laughter, but I'm thinking I can get them choked up, you know,
Yeah.
if I'm hitting them hard enough.
Yeah.
And like,
Make someone have a fucking stroke
Yeah.
out there. Kill him, baby.
He seemed really nervous.
Really?
Yeah, Dustin.
Dustin?
Did. Yeah.
He was energetic like he always is. He's a very energetic comic, but it did seem like a half step down almost. Which Dustin's phenomenal. He's one of my favorite comedians I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And maybe that also comes with me seeing the same guys for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And Dustin comes in. Now he's only a year into being around me. And I'm like, man, this motherfucker's good. Like,
Yeah, he is. That was who I was worried about. I was like, if I lose, it's either Dustin or I was mainly Dustin. I was
Yeah.
worried about losing to. But no, them laughing at punchlines, I was like, I have no option but to step on the laughter. Especially with that one bit. Like, I had to, or else it was...
I even think in a situation like that, you can even go, all right, guys, I got to rush through these if y'all keep laughing so
No.
damn hard.
So no, I'd wait a second, you know, kind of let it die down, and I'd just hit the next one,
Nail, just kind of talk fast through the first part kind of thing.
And it worked out. They all ended
I
up
can
hearing
tell.
it all.
You did great.
I pulled the cash out of my pocket. I get it.
What'd you,
it did work out.
What'd you end up doing the rest of the night after the show?
Yeah.
Okay, no, we ain't got to go there.
Nah, I'm fine.
I didn't know if
went
you
to,
stuck around, if y'all went back, if y'all ended up hanging out in town for a while.
We stayed at Frozen P-Row
Yeah.
for a while, and then we ended up going to Strange Brew.
Nice.
A couple of my buddies got real drunk at Strange Brew. Thought these lesbians were digging them. Hopped in the car with them, went out with them. They didn't know it was a lesbian couple. They're not messing with you, bro. And then I went to Big Country like an idiot.
That's the one in Bossier?
Yeah.
That was the stupidest mistake ever.
Big Country blows.
Show up there and they were like, "Hey, man, you can't come in here with that hood on." And I didn't have my hood on. I just had a jacket with a hood.
Oh.
Like, you can't come in here. I was like, well, I got invited here. Some people invited me here. They're like, yeah, you can't come on. I didn't have a shirt under my hoodie. So I had
Strange
no
move,
choice.
but all right.
Yeah. And then my friends came out of Big Country and they're like, hey, why'd you go home? Went home. One of the friends who we were going to stay at their house.
Yeah.
She was so drunk she didn't know who I was.
Nice.
Bitch, I'm the winner of LOCO Fest.
You see this belt? She's like, who's this asshole?
So she tells her friend, she goes, hey, she's like drunk and mad.
Yeah.
Didn't know that it was me that was there. She was like, hey, you can stay at my house? but your friend needs to find somewhere to go.
Nice. And you're like, I'm drunk in a different
was
city. I don't
like-
know where to go.
It's like, whoa, we're friends. What the hell? I got to find somewhere to go?
Did you have to convince her?
And no, I just stayed silent. And the person driving us was like, hey, Garrett, back there, you need me to drop you off somewhere? I felt like a little kid.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Were you
No.
here in town?
Yeah.
If you're ever stuck here, you can sleep on my couch.
Or on
I'll
this
remember
table.
that.
Yeah,
But she was
I got
like,
cots too. You can crash here if you ever need to.
she was
I
like,
got a
you-
couch where my kids are going to wake you up in the morning.
Sorry, I'll stay there.
my
She was
kids
like-
will just look at you like, "What the fuck is this?"
Who's this homeless man in the hood? No hoods in the house.
She said, do you have any friends in Bossier that I could drop you off with? I was like, these are my friends. What
No,
the
you're with them.
Yeah.
And then the girl ended up sobering up, realizing it was me, and she was like, oh my God, yeah, you can stay in my house. And yeah.
Yeah, if you're ever,
It was a weird night. It was
if
fun.
you're ever
though.
too drunk at Tiki or whatever, you're welcome to come here and either chill it off or sleep it off. I got you.
Yeah.
LOCO Fest night, when we went to Strange Brew, my buddies were really drunk, hopped in the car with these girls, and we live in Ruston. We were their ride back to Ruston.
Ooh.
But they were so,
Yeah.
set on these girls, they hopped in the car with them, left
Girls will do that too.
for about 30 minutes, and at that point we were like, hey, we're ready to go home.
Yeah.
So we all start driving back, and halfway back, by that point they had already dropped me off at Big Country, but halfway back they start calling everybody, hey, these girls ditched us.
So you had to go get them?
They dropped us off at Strange Brew. Come get us. And all my friends, they're heartless. They're like, you shouldn't have hopped in you shouldn't have left
No.
your ride.
They're
Shouldn't
not
have-
heartless. They're just, hey,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
you
they're
problem.
just on their
You-
way home.
Yeah,
You
that's a
left-
you problem at that point.
You
Like,
left your ride, and so I got on the phone with one of my buddies, and they're screaming at us, "You assholes! Why would you leave us in Shreveport?" And it was like,
because you were getting laid with the
Yeah.
lesbians, dog.
or thought you were, and they're like, "Now we got to get a room. We got to get a hotel room in Shreveport. You left us." And so I'm thinking, oh, they got to pay $70 for a Super 8 motel
Yeah.
room. No, they went to the Horseshoe.
That's on them.
They went to the Horseshoe. Can I get my vape? My pod's empty. Thank you. But they went to the Horseshoe. I had to stay in one of the,
They got
under
a suite.
construction rooms. Yeah. And the
We had a
next,
presidential suite. We had to pay $20,000.
I was also stuck in Shreveport, so I called them the next morning. I was like, "Hey, y'all still there?" It was like 11:45.
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, we're still here." I was like, "It's 11:45. You're gonna have to pay a late fee."
Yeah.
Because it's 45 minutes after 11. They're like,
Look.
"No, the only option was to buy this room until Monday night."
Oh my God.
It's like, how much did you spend? He was like $250.
That ain't bad.
So yeah, poor guys though, they can't afford that. So I can't either.
Yeah, they didn't win
really.
Loco Fest.
Yeah, no, they did not.
So we went over what you did with the money. Obviously paid some bills and shit like that. That's awesome. I'm glad you were able to do that with it. How'd it feel when you heard your name announced?
I expected it.
Did you?
Attaboy.
I hate to say it,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
I
that's
did,
good,
I did
man.
expect it.
Yeah, as soon as he got off
So,
stage, I guarantee
I was
he
wondering-
expected it.
It felt real good, but I've got a case of imposter syndrome, I feel like. So I'm like, oh, I don't fucking deserve this, Especially bringing people, but then after I got off, after you awarded me and everything, and then y'all told me, you're like, hey, you would have won it without your people or not.
Yeah. It would have been a closer
felt pretty
call,
good.
but it was still a big win.
So it's like just now that I've finally convinced myself, like, hey, you did earn that.
Yours was the
you
one
killed it.
when we opened the ballot box. That was the only one Joel counted. And he opened it and he goes, I don't got to count it. He's like, I'm looking at it. He's like, I don't know what you got over there, but I ain't got to count it. And we're looking through everything. I was like,
It took me like 3 or 4 days to finally convince myself, like, hey, you earned that.
you did earn it.
You
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
100%.
I mean, I think you are one of the strongest comedians we have right now. The only thing going against you is you don't have the time. that
I don't have the
everybody
time.
has. That's
But
the
that'll-
only. You're gonna get it.
The
though.
time will come with time.
Shit, you
so,
wrote a brand. You had a brand new 4 tonight. So
Yeah.
you said you had 15 before
Yeah.
tonight shit. So you're almost at 20.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is throw it together. And these places, these open mics, you can talk to the host and be like,
Yeah.
hey, I really need to run a 10. And they're usually going to be cool. I'm going to be cool with it. And anybody that's hosting for me,
Unless
all you
it's
got to
me.
do,
If it's me, you're stuck to 5, buddy.
But
I stuck to 5 today. Blair kind of called me out. She's like,
Really?
really short tonight. And I was like, we have 15 fucking comics.
Yeah.
And she was like,
Man, when I pulled up, I was like, damn, there's a lot of people here. And then I walked inside and I was like, damn, there's a lot of comics here.
yeah, it was.
the thing with me, like, my standard of jokes, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep that. That's going in my set.
Yeah.
It's like, it might be too high. It's like, anything that gets like, I don't know, like a little laughs, I'm like, I need to work on that.
That's a good way to feel.
It might, like, it has to be like something that gets enough laughs where I'm like, it catches my attention. Where I'm like, I'm working on that.
Man, I'm totally different, man. I still tell Spearman jokes.
Spearman might be.
I remember you told me about that joke on this podcast, and then we were at Tiki a few weeks ago, and you were like, hey guys, what type of. And I was like, oh no.
Dude.
It's only worked once.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
I only tell it for now. I'll tell it for you, but I only tell it for him because he hates it. You say that every time you mention
So you
your
did
kids.
think you were going to win.
Yeah.
Cocky.
Nah, I wasn't cocky about it, but it just logically.
You know how I found out you won? He didn't say nothing to me, and I walked over. I was done doing what I was doing, and I walked over, and he was. The girl said, "How do you spell his name?" He said, "It's two R's, two T's." Yeah. And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "He won." I was like, "Ah, boy."
Yeah, it's real cool. I mean, this is only the second year we've done it, but it's real cool. Like, obviously, most of the people on there are my boys. Yeah. This year more so than last year, because last year we had a bunch of guys that I'd met like once or twice. Mm-hmm. But it's real cool that like last year I got to see Glenn. Glenn helped me tremendously when I started comedy, and it's cool seeing you start comedy, and me seeing you for the first time and going, "Fuck, that kid's good." And then see you keep going. I'm like, shit, I ain't got it. He's got it, but I ain't got it. Yeah.
I think that's why it kind of felt weird, too, to win. Because I was like, it's my friends that I'm competing against. Yeah. I'm friends with all these people. Yeah. And it's also my friend who is awarding me. Yeah. So it's kind of like when your mom gives you birthday money. You're like, it feels a little different from when.
Yeah, but your mom has to.
When you work the job.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. It was kind of that feeling.
Man,
but I finally did convince myself, like, I did earn it.
I'm glad you were able to get over that then.
Yeah, man, I got over it.
And I can vouch for the fact that most of the people in the audience did not know who they were there to see. They didn't know anybody.
Which I was happy to see. And even with your friends coming, that's not a guarantee that they see Clyde right after and go,
oh, yeah, they said they loved Clyde.
Garrett was good, but Clyde's amazing. Like, and I was so happy that he got the number 10 spot because when he got that, I was like, I know what Clyde's capable of. If he prepared like he said he was.
He brought it.
All my friends said Clyde did great.
Yeah, he fucking brought it. He really did.
My mom called me yesterday on the way back from Arkansas, and she was like, you got a second to talk? And I was like, yeah, what's up? And she was like, that Clyde Williams joke, that last joke you did about his mother, she goes, I've been laughing about it for 3 days.
I didn't even get to hear it because I was coming off the high. I was like coming off stage. I really didn't get to listen to anybody's
Well,
stuff,
and
was the green room rowdy?
It got rowdy. I kept shutting the door because I know that room is not soundproof.
Yeah,
I kept shutting the door.
Yeah, it's a wedding venue. That's where they put on the wedding dress.
Oh yeah.
It got rowdy.
That's one thing where I had to come in like, hey guys, y'all got to be quiet. Like people can hear out there, and everyone's like, all right, shit.
I was trying to give them the hint by shutting the door. It didn't work.
No, once you get. Especially as the guys are coming off stage and you're waiting, you're trying not to get drunk back there. There's alcohol back there to be consumed, and it's hard not to when it's just
so many Coors Lights back there, and I'm number 9.
Yeah,
that's hard for me.
Yeah, because Coors is your drink, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think that's why I bought it. I was gonna get Michelob, but I was like, it's not really for me. I'm not getting hammered till like after the show, kind of thing.
No, I kept going, and I was fine when I got on stage.
Did you try the LOCO beer?
I did.
What did you think of it?
You have more?
I've got one. It's just for display.
And it's hot.
No, see, I don't like IPAs at all, really. But the night when we had the beer release party at 7 Tap, I drank one, and then after that one, I was feeling real good.
Oh, they're strong.
My second one, I was like, oh, I like it now. I don't know.
You got a full belly halfway through the third. Like,
so you get through that first one, you're like, I think I kind of like it.
Ken, Blair and Ken, he said it tasted like grapefruit piss.
Yeah.
No, it tastes like orange peels.
Ken drinks strictly Dos Equis, and you have to put a fruit in it for it to taste good. It's probably not a good beer.
Yeah.
There's Michelob in there too, but that's just water apparently.
It's just there was 2 Dos Equis and 1. I didn't buy any beer because nobody said to.
No, yeah, and I told him I was like,
I didn't ask you. Oh, my bad.
Beer is beer.
I didn't ask what you wanted.
You know,
I think this is the first time I haven't asked a guest.
You asked me, and I was like, "I'm not drinking tonight, so I can be sober."
And for some reason, I guess I thought I put that in the group chat. My bad.
I'm 1 year out from not having a choice to what I drink. If I can get beer, I've got beer.
Well, my dad's favorite saying, maybe not his favorite. This is gonna make my dad sound like the biggest booze bag. He's not, but I didn't learn it from nobody. You know, Because my favorite type of beer is cold.
Yeah.
No, my favorite type of beer is free. My second favorite beer is cold.
Very nice.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? My wife, not an IPA drinker, loves the shit. She's like, I can't wait to have this in summer.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're gonna make it after they got like 10 cases left.
Really? I want to buy one because I want some more. I especially want to keep one unopened just for like a.
I said the same thing, but it looked real tasty the other day.
I got one.
Yeah, that one's staying there.
It's for display. And I will tell you this.
As long as somebody has one.
You know what I want you to do? I want you to sign that for me.
That's awesome.
I'll do it.
I need you to sign
Fuck
that
the
for
wall,
me. Yeah.
baby.
Well, have you
I already signed the wall.
Yeah,
He's
but
looking
you got
at
time
it.
for this year. Different color.
Do we?
Oh, he's already on this year.
He's already
Ah.
on. Period.
Oh, they can't sign a different color each year?
It was October when I did it last
I
year.
don't think.
I mean,
I
sure.
don't think I should have people sign it more than once.
No.
Sure do.
Yeah, I'm on there. So.
I don't know.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna have you sign
That's dope.
that beer because you won that year. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. That's the last time that beer's ever getting produced, too.
Yeah.
We're not putting in stores and nothing like
No,
that?
they did. They're almost sold out. I don't know. They'll probably rewrap it or something like that with a different logo. And
What
call it something
stores are
different.
they in?
I know the gas station by my house is getting them. Over by the duck pond. I don't know if you know where that's at.
I don't.
Tiki had it tonight, which is pretty cool.
They did have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had
Any of the
I saw
restaurants
you
that
drinking one.
I have no idea. I don't know if they just were like, shit, we don't have enough to move to everywhere that they sold.
Maybe.
Yeah, because, I mean, shit, that night of the beer release, we might have knocked out half of it.
Oh, that's right. I wasn't there for that. That was the night my wife went in the hospital.
Dude, these broads can't get it together.
Man.
I mean, it's
All right,
just,
I want to ask you this.
Yes.
What do you think of this Loco Fest advertisement that we didn't do?
Oh, it's a good one. What's that? What's Logo Fest? A competition where 10 comedians compete for money? When is it? February 15th? That's the day after Valentine's Day. Where can I get tickets? Don't take this serious.com? They're only $20? Let's go do it.
Dude, that's hilarious. I love
It's a great
that.
clip.
That's great.
I love it.
Dude, I hated that Joel didn't take a look at it because I thought that would have been a really fun. But we can just do it for something else.
Yeah,
We can do it for anything.
Do that for something else for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll have
that's
to-
funny.
Yeah.
And we got the Pete barking clip.
Or
We can get
I
another
can
one.
get more.
Yeah, and-
that is not a hard task.
It's a good time, man. Logo Fest is a cool time. I'm excited about next year.
Well, man, thanks for coming in tonight. We really appreciate it. I know it's late, and I appreciate you coming over. And I can't say congratulations enough. I can't toot your horn enough. You are fantastic. You earned every bit of Loco Fest.
Thank you.
And fuck yeah, man! Thanks for coming in. It's awesome to watch this. It's really neat to watch this.
Trying my best.
No, you're doing great, man. Keep it up.
That's it, baby.
Anything else?
Love you, boys.
Love you too, man.
Oh yeah.
All right, you guys. That's been this week's episode of the Terrible Table Podcast. We appreciate y'all. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Anything else you can tell them?
Don't fart in mics, baby.
Well, that's still your mic. Still smell like shit. I didn't ask you any crackers this week. You didn't fart in any mics. See you guys later.